All right, everybody, we are back again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Uhuru. And I already see people are in the chat room already making comments. So I have a brother Kyla Genesis on with us tonight, and we're discussing to African Americans, Africa is heaven, to Africans, Africa is hell. Kyla, so in the chat room already, we have a couple comments. One is, we get it, Kyla. We don't need any more bashing videos. What about the solutions? I believe in the vision, but not internal insults. We can spread a positive message without pointing fingers, brother. And then LBJ Titan 23 says, this Kyla dude never stepped out of America, I assume.
Oh, that's the dude that insulted. That's the dude that insulted. He's a troll. He insulted Brother Holub today in the show today. He was going at Brother Holub saying, I went to one of your videos. He's a BAL hater. And basically he's trying to call us over. First of all, 90% of what I say is conciliatory and building with Africa. You know what I'm saying? But I tell the whole story. You know what I'm saying? I don't tell half truths and everything like that. Because the bottom line is this. The same way, let me give you an example. A couple of years ago, did you see that one article where this white guy, there was a white guy and Chinese one, they both wrote blogs, what's wrong with Africa, right?
Okay.
And it went viral. I don't think you remember that? There's a white guy said,
I might have read it, but go ahead and give me the details on it.
But the whole thing is, the way the Africans responded to it because of the white person, well, you know, this, that, and the other thing, they were just taking the thing, and it was basically, you know, oh yeah, it's your own fault that you completely exonerated their colonial past, completely exonerated themselves and everything like that was the reason why Africa's in situations. And but the Africans will sit there and they'll go on, well, our leaders and blah 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 blah, never say anything. African Americans, I guess we're not allowed to critique Africa, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, they're allowed to judge us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When you country of America, you got all this opportunity, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? So, but we say, okay, wait a minute here. You got a whole vast continent. You got Chinese, Lebanese, everything, and people from Dubai robbing you blind of gold, you know what I'm saying? Giving you peanuts, and they're taking gold bullion out of the country and stacking it. China alone in 1 year, 2 years ago, took $100 million of gold out of Ghana illegally. You know what I'm saying? Mining gold, no permits, no anything. Not only that, leaving behind half Asian babies. But it's okay. You know what I'm saying? So long as you're not an African American or Black American, you basically don't have to you can do whatever you want.
Right, I spoke on this. It's the Black American don't come to Africa with that Western radical mentality, but you know, for some reason, Indians, Chinese, white people, Lebanese, they're not getting that memo.
Yeah, and so your one boy from I think you had somebody from Tanzania on. I think he went to Tanzania and he was talking about how the Arabs were treating I don't know where it was on your show or somebody who said the Arab employers were treating the Africans like garbage and whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and, I said that on my last. I said that on my last show.
Yeah, and I was saying to myself, it's funny how African Americans, we do everything we can. We go over there. We're opening up. We don't really go to Africa to business. We go to Africa to help out. And then I get told, well, charity begins at home. Don't you guys got poor in your own country and everything? I'm like, oh, geez, okay. You know what I'm saying? If I want to come over here and do business, oh, you're a capitalist. Well, I want to help out. I want to come over here, charity. We don't need your charity.
And Kyle, it's not even that. It's to the point now. Okay, you come to. I was told as a Black American, when I come to Africa, don't bring my Western mindset when it's time to do business. We don't sign contracts. No contracts, Dynasty. Don't sign contracts. No. But then I'm pretty sure when the Chinese, the Lebanese, white people are over there, contracts are being signed.
Oh, get this. I will tell you a caveat to that, right?
Right.
Zimbabwe, right? You know, when they took the Shona people, when the white man took the whole entire Zimbabwe region, the chief put a little mark on a piece of paper, right? Yeah, to some land speculators and everything from South Africa, from Cecil Rhodes people. They took that whole entire country just for a little mark on a piece of paper. And the Africans honored it. Well, we did mark the X on the piece of paper, you know? But when it comes to African Americans, no sign. We got to do things the African way and everything like that. But when you deal with the white man, he has that piece of paper sitting in the office somewhere in London. And basically, if you don't honor that piece of paper, he's sending his military, He's going to throw sanctions on you. He's going to do everything he can. He'll say, you respect that piece of paper you signed with the white man. But when it comes to black people from America, we're supposed to be like, this is what happens when you don't have a government representing you. You know what I'm saying? When African Americans have a government, a nation of their own, everything's going to be done from the up and up on a high level. Since we don't have that right now, you know what I'm saying, they expect to be like, and let me tell you another thing. I know too many people that went to Africa have lost money, that got burned, got cheated, and some of everything. And they come back more anti-African than anything. So I'm trying to head that off and say, look, this is the way we do this. Get an agreement, get with the U.S. Embassy, make sure who you're dealing with is on the up and up and everything. You can't go over there with this idea of, we're all Africans and everything like that, because you're still talking about business. In the end of the day, we have to be businessmen, stewards of businessmen. Nation building is businessmen. Pan-African is business. So what kind of person is talking about doing business from a standpoint of emotion and everything? What you're asking African Americans and Black America, can you mute yourself, Dinus?
I hear. Okay. Go ahead.
What you're asking us to do is be fools. We want to be Africans so much when they look at us like fools. And I'm like this, my people aren't stupid. Black Americans are not stupid. I'm saying? We're not fools and everything. And the whole thing is, if we're going to build something on the continent, whatever like that, we're going to keep searching until we find the right countries that want to be doing business our way and it's mutual beneficial. It can't be one way. It can't be just one way. Okay, you come over here, don't sign no contract. So we got no protection or whatever like that. And then we have a situation like we had in Fiacre. There's nothing, everything's vague and abstract. No one's really clear about who owns what owns who. We don't sign nothing. There's nothing on paper. And then what happens is when something happens, when two elderly women get killed and whatnot, the agreement was agreed. Well, we never really had no agreement because we have no paper trail. We have no anything. We want to keep going.
Real quick, are you talking about the two women from Detroit that got killed?
Yeah, Detroit. Yeah, same situation.
There's a lot behind that, bro. I'm not saying there's a lot behind that. There's a lot behind that. I'm just gonna leave it like that. There's a lot. Yeah. I'll use another example. There's a lot behind that.
And so my point about that is this. You go over there with the zeal. Oh, we got this land that was promised to the diaspora and all this kind of stuff, this fanfare. I talked to the sisters on the phone for hours. I talked to those sisters on the phone for hours a few years ago, back in 2011. They're like, yeah, come over here. You can get land for $3,000 and get you a nice piece of land and all stuff like that and everything like that. I said, that's not bad for a type of land. Remember something, $3,000 for land. People say, well, that's cheap. Well, first of all, when you go over there, the land is virgin. That means you got to provide all the prerequisites yourself. You know what I'm saying? You got to provide your own septic system. You got to have your own water pump, drill your own pump in the ground and purify your own water, build your own water tank and tower to have a drop. You know what I'm saying? You got to have your own septic system and everything like that. So you got to make sure you a trash way to put your trash at, stuff like that. So when you're on a plot of land in Africa, you know what I'm saying? It could look like a piece of land in rural America, but you ain't going to have all the services that you have in America. So you're taking a lot of risks. A lot of those people put a lot of money and time into building homes on that beautiful land. Now they're all scared off after that incident. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, well, this and the other way. People, so if somebody has $10,000 on that don't mean anything. You think they just that $10,000 that they put up and everything, and they could have went to any part of the world, but they chose to go to Ghana because you said that was their homeland and everything. And then when they get there, it's like, no, we didn't really mean it like that. We just, whatever, and we changed our mind and all this kind of nonsense and everything. And so you ask yourself a question. You get racial hostility in America. People are gentrifying you in America. Police are pushing you up in your own neighborhoods in America. And then you tell me you're going to go to Africa and you might have the same thing happen to you. You know what I'm saying? Where is a place where Black people in America can find peace and rest? We have never known what's like in 400 years to have peace and rest. You know what I'm saying? We're not having to worry about somebody uprooting us or taking what back from us,
Kala, real quick. I want to deal with the situation you're talking about in Ghana because people are asking about it. From what you might know more than me, but from what I understand, was it Fincara? Is that how you say it?
Fihankra.
Right. So Fihankra. So from my understanding, and then you could chime in as I try to explain it.
Okay.
There was land that was promised by a chief to African Americans, descendants of the slave trade. Am I correct?
Okay. It was Kwame Atta. You know, matter of fact, you got to get his daughter Maya Atta. She like LA Liberian Radio. She was that's his daughter, right? This was in the late 60s. Kwame Atta left the United States in 1969, right? He's from Detroit, right? And he knew these ladies that were in Detroit. He was an activist in Detroit. While Detroit was burning down and all stuff like that, and he had the idea of, he met with Kwame Nkrumah. And Kwame Nkrumah said, you know something, the eastern part of Ghana, the whole entire eastern part of Ghana, on the border of Togo, right? They had agreements with the local chiefs and everything. We're going to make a state. We're going to create a new state for the African diaspora. You know what I'm saying? And Malcolm X talked about it and stuff like that. And it was sort of like vague. We're going to create a new state for the diaspora because you had Europeans moving over there and stuff like that. What about black people from the West who got education, skills, and everything like that? People from there want to build in Ghana and everything. That was the vision of Kwame Nkrumah. You know what I'm saying? So he said, we're going to build a state for the diaspora and everything. They have their own administration, their own schools, their own tax base, their own roads, their own police, their own militia, whatever like that to protect themselves and everything on the border. Later on, it became smaller. The land they talked about became smaller. It became this area called Oge May Fe Ye. I forgot the name of it, right? But short was Fiancra. Those who return, you left without saying goodbye, come back. You know, the Fiancra means return. Okay, so it was smaller, but it was on the eastern side of the river Volta. You know what I'm saying? And the Lake Volta, right? Right when the Lake Volta Dam was being built. And so therefore, beautiful countryside, you know, I mean, beautiful. I mean, the land is absolutely breathtaking. If you ever seen the land, you would fall in love with it. The people there that went to the land and said, we're going to build something here, they just said, well, this is where I want to retire. People said, oh my God, this is where I want to build a house. I mean, we could build a village here. And they had a village there. They had an administrative building. They had a school. They were building a clinic and all these stuff like that. And they were like something like 40 miles from Tema, you know, 40 miles from Tema. So you had to drive on the highway from the coast up into the countryside. It's like going into the mountains. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful landscape, beautiful everything, gardening, everything. The topography is probably the most breathtaking places on the place Earth you're gonna see. You know, so if you look at the picture, I got pictures of Fiancra that I'll send you. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, it's on my Matter of fact, if you go to my blog, collination.blogspot.com, and put in Fiancra, you know, that blog will pop up. There's a whole bunch of pictures in there. You can see what the land looks like. Stunningly beautiful. Okay. Anyway, so what happened was it became that particular piece of land. Kwame Atta, right, was going through a whole bunch of stuff, right? And then in 1975, he decided, after Kwame Nkrumah was gone and everything like that, the people sort of changed their minds, whatever. And so he moved to Liberia, right? And this started the whole thing. And Kwame Atta was like, wow, man, I went to Liberia in 1975, 76. And he brought his family to Liberia. And he said, man, this is where I should have went in the first place. So he found the people there. He had the American Liberians. He had the native Liberians at the time, the 70s. Everybody was into Fela Kuti and Black Power and stuff like that. And so he fit right in. He said, this is a better place because I got some, he recognized some of the houses and the architecture of the countryside of Liberia looked like something like the American South, you know, mixed with African villages. It was like Africa. It was like having, Liberia was like having Harlem in Detroit in the middle of the jungle. You know what I'm saying? If you will, well, yeah, it's like having Black America overseas. You know what I'm saying? You had the culture of Black America and everything like that. And you got African indigenous culture mixed together. So he said this was a better place. So he stayed there until a year after the coup. You know, so after the coup, they came back to the United States. And Maya Atta tells the story all the time. She spent her childhood. She's 51 years old now. She spent her childhood in Liberia. That's where she got her most memories from. So when they left Ghana, went to thing. But anyway, the people that were planning to go to Fiancra during retirement were still scheduled on planning on going there, right? So like in the late 90s and everything, they started making preparations to go back over there. And they got together with one of the king's kings and said, okay, this is where they made it. I think they made a mistake. In order for you to have the land, you have to have a possessive stool, the symbol of the land, right? And then and the chief that was going to sit on that stool was going to be the head of Fiancra, right? What happened was somebody had the idea that one of the expats were going to become the chief, right? Whatever, and that's what the local people objected to, that somebody from America become a chief. Now, mind you, at the same time, now they're making white chief. You've seen the white chiefs in Ghana, right? You've seen the white chiefs of villages in Ghana, right?
Yeah, I have
All right,
absolutely. Yeah,
you've seen the
I have.
Chinese.
Unfortunately, yeah.
You've seen the Chinese chiefs, right? Oh, no problem. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
The Lebanese chiefs. Oh, no problem. You know what I'm saying? But they somehow had a problem. It's tribalism. You know what I'm saying? Another black tribe is now chief of their tribe, one of their tribes. You know what I'm saying? They objected to that, right? So therefore, they said, okay, the people that came over here said, okay, we'll give you what you want. And these people start asking for money, the so-called royals. Pay these people the royalties. Everybody had to pay the royals money. They come here, just pay the money. Feel okay, well, small price to pay. Oh, you need $1,000. Okay, we need more money. We need more money. After a while, people start saying, something. Why are we paying all this money to these people? Is this land really ours or not? And that's where the conflict began. You know what I'm saying? And then it came to the thing. Well, if you're gonna stop paying us, you guys are gonna be booted off the land. And that's where the conflict came in. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, well, some people said, well, I'm not paying anything. Then some people who sent their money in never got their land, right? They said, well, we're holding this because you guys owe money on this other end right here. And people said, well, what's that got to do with me? So it was conflict back and forth. And what happened was these two ladies became in the middle of it. And the whole conflict was the fact that you had these people there, they called themselves royals, and they said, well, we're the stewards of the land, you're gonna pay us a tax, whatever like that. Not anything legal and everything. What happened was in 2014, they went to court, and evidently the government of Ghana said, I believe they won on settlement fair and square. They ruled on behalf of the expats, the settlers. You know what I'm saying? And said you paid money for the land's yours, right? So anyway, that didn't end it. You know what I'm saying? There was two things going on. There was people that lost money, right? Some of them blamed the two sisters that were from Detroit, and then you had the people who wanted them off the land in the first place, the indigenous people. You know what I'm saying? Well, what happened was one of the ladies had her dogs poisoned. Somebody poisoned their dog. Now, imagine you're a 70-something-year-old lady, right? You come outside and your dog is poisoned. Wouldn't that scare the mess out of you? And then people in Fiancra start carrying guns in their house.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, it would. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So anyway, what happened was the two ladies, a week later, the two ladies were found beaten and bludgeoned to death and left in a shallow grave. You know what I'm saying? Now, to this day, they arrested some local people, but then the way the media reported it, just like when that black girl that went over to Ghana in 2004, the time of Nancy Holloway, and she was found dead by a pool, and it wasn't even an autopsy. A little black girl from New Jersey went over there on a field trip, was found dead in a pool, and she was basically killed. She was raped, but they did before that. They said, well, she must have snuck out of a hotel and drowned. She was raped. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, the Ghanaian government don't have really forensics and investigation and stuff like that. So what happened was they said that the somebody in the media was saying, well, and a lot of so-called Negroes from America who were expats in Ghana, right, was saying, well, that was their fault and everything. What happened was somebody they cheated, or somebody that lost them their money, paid the indigenous people, and they worked together to kill those two ladies. So in other words, basically, they didn't want to blame just the indigenous, so they didn't want to make a tension between African Americans and Ghanaians. You know what I'm saying? They said it was like they basically threw these two ladies under the bus. You know what I'm saying? They threw them under the bus, saying, "Oh, they were cheating people. The people that lost money and the indigenous people got together, and that's what happened. Boom, boom, boom. Let's move on to something else." And I try to talk to people and get more information out of it. And people are like, well, Colin, why do you keep digging about this? So you start trouble? I said, no, I just want to know the truth. Who happened? Why did they kill these two ladies? Well, I said, ho. Despite everything, you know what I'm saying? Despite everything, let's say these ladies were scamming. Did they deserve to die the way they did? You know what I'm saying? So in other words, you're telling me because I'm in Africa now, you know what I'm saying? I don't require due process of law anymore. I can be killed in a shallow grave and let's just forget about it and move on and everything. No, it don't work like that. I want to know what the hell happened. To these ladies. Let's get to the truth. Let's clear the air. Nobody knows exactly. You know what I'm saying? Because the government has moved on and is not fully investigating this. The U.S. government just basically said, "Yeah, 2 citizens were killed." It's like when you're living in an African country. If there were 2 white ladies, do you think?
Oh
Don't you
man,
think
if it was 2 white ladies, the Apache helicopters and
oh my
Navy,
God, they would have international people,
CIA
some CIA, everybody come over the area.
invaded, Ghana would have been invaded.
Ghana would have invaded. They would have had a perfect excuse to put a military base there. You know what I'm saying? But because of those 2 African Americans, and then what gets me is these same so-called Black Pan Africans and whatnot are the very ones cowardly because they don't want to mess up what they got going on in Ghana. They want to freaking back off and be like, oh no, let's just move on and whatnot. This, that, the other thing. Come on, you know what I'm saying? Come on, that don't no way in the world that sets right with me. That don't set right with me. And then when you talk about it, Kyle, you're just a troublemaker. You know what I'm saying? You're just a
Hey, Colin,
troublemaker.
real quick, this is the version I somewhat heard. So the guy from Detroit, right, was given the land, I guess, by the chief.
Yeah,
But
that was during Kwame Nkrumah was alive.
But even before that, I was told that there was a dispute between chiefs over the land. So when they gave it to the guy, but then on top of that, from my understanding, the understanding was that, hey, you guys can have the land, but give the land to other Black Americans. Don't charge them for it. And then also build some resources on the land.
Right. But the thing is,
then I heard that they were charging African Americans for the land, but they weren't.
I'm not putting a policy to them. But when you really think about it, right, a lot of that money wasn't even for the land. It was so long as you could build something on the land. You just get land for $3,000, $4,000. You was given the land so you could build something on. You had to put something on it. You know what I'm saying? Develop it, be part of a community. $3,000 is nothing for a friggin' land. You know what I'm saying? That's nothing. I mean, if somebody says it's like what the money was usually administrative costs. They're trying to build a little local treasury and everything. You understand? If you're gonna build a community, you gotta have a way how to raise taxes, right? They have no tax base. You know what I'm saying? If they would have done it the right way, they would have had a municipal bond. You know what I'm saying? And incorporated as a city like a land trust. You know what I'm saying? Like your sister was talking about on her show, create a land trust. But Ghana didn't have the sort of land trust laws in place for that. Had they worked on that, you know what I'm saying? Delayed gratification, right? And worked on say, hey, look, we need to make this work. Why don't we create a land trust? You know what I'm saying? Have a board of trustees that have trusted in the land and everything. People can be given land so long as you can build something on it and be part of the community. You know what I'm saying? They didn't do that. They just went the African way. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, just don't this thing. No, the land should have been entrusted. That it has boundaries and stakes. So this land, this point to here is part of Fiancre. You know what I'm saying? This is a Fiancre police department. This is a Fiancre fire department. You know what I'm saying? They're all incorporated into the same system. You know what I'm saying? This is a Fiancre hospital. This is a Fiancre shopping district. You know what I'm saying? Had they done it like that, this is Fiancre this was Fiancre that. You know what I'm saying? If they had a land trust system and done it like that, it would be standing to this day as a jewel in the heart of Ghana. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't do it like that. They went over there and said, we're going to build it. Then there was another thing where these African Americans built just a regular village, right? And just mud huts and everything. They said, we're going to build a traditional village. They went over there and it lasted a lot of people got sick. They got cholera. They had wingworms and diseases and stuff like that. And people were coming there. It was like a zoo. People look at these people from America, even the local people look at these people living in a freaking situation where most Ghanaians are trying to build a modern house, and these people are living in huts and whatnot because they want to feel more African and everything. And then also what happened was these people have been abandoned, completely abandoned. So there's a lot of chicanery, and Ghanaians been watching this for a couple of decades now, of black people making blunders when they go over to their country. So that's why when you talk about going over to these countries, they're like, man, you guys got to get your track record right. And then when you see the Chinese and the Lebanese and everything, they go in condominiums, they're doing business and everything. You can't blame them for freaking saying, okay, well, I'd rather have them than these black people in America. Y'all keep fucking up. Y'all keep, you see what I'm saying? The only success in Africa really was the Liberians. You know what I'm saying? That's the only success. They created a heaven for themselves in Liberia, because they built this culture and society, what they knew in America, and it worked. You know what I'm saying? African Americans have been trying to live African lifestyles and failing miserably. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way I see that.
And not to, I know I've been bringing this up for the past week. Maluwan Yahoo makes a great point. And, and I keep pounding this, and but I'm offended by it. I'm so offended by it as a Black American. In Africa, they attempt to regulate Black Americans while all other races run wild on the continent.
Of course. And we got to understand something. When we go to Africa, you know what I'm saying? When we go to Africa, you understand something. We join the tribal mix. You know what I'm saying? People say, I want to be African. I want to be African. Okay. When you go to Africa, we're going to give you Africa. You become part of the tribal makeup. You know what I'm saying? You Africa. So the bottom line is, and I remember this one movie. I remember watching this one movie, a kung fu movie back in the days. It was a Bruce Lee remake, right? You know what I'm saying? And and it was showing Bruce Lee's side when he was in Hong Kong, where he came from America, went back to Hong Kong. And these Chinese people that came into a restaurant, right? And the guy didn't have a jacket on, and they was having ordinary clothes on. And the guy said, "Sorry, sir, you can't come in here without a jacket on." And then all of a sudden, Bruce Lee looked over, and these white people were sitting over there in t-shirts and everything. And Bruce Lee went to the guy and said, "Why is it that you telling them they gotta leave, and you got those white people over there, regular clothes? Well, white people are different. You know what I'm saying? We treat white people different. Chinese, you got to understand." And Bruce Lee called up and punched the guy in the face, and said, kick beat the guy's ass. But the whole thing is that's not uncommon anywhere in the developing world. You know what I'm saying? Except for Japan. Japan is the only country where they treat their own better than they treat foreigners. You know what I'm saying? Asians are treated better in Japan than non-Asians. You know what I'm saying? Africans are xenophiles. You know what I'm saying? We love everybody but what looks like us. You know what I'm saying? And it's on the continent. You know what I'm saying? It's on the continent. If you go to some place, a white person in Ghana or Nigeria, whatever, will get a table before a Black person. You know what I'm saying? You become an African. You know what I'm saying? You become an African. Now, the only time many Black people from America get over it, and I haven't even been to the continent. I know there's some stories I've heard. They said if you basically just stick out as a Westerner or a Black person from America, then you have that arrogant American attitude and everything. Then they start treating you more like an American. But when you just want to go there, I'm an African, that's exactly what comes along with it. You become an African. You become you join the tribal maker. You just one of the tribes on the continent competing for limited resources. But when a foreigner's there, that's a special guest. You know what I'm saying? That's somebody special. That's somebody that's coming from a great government. That's somebody's coming from an important country. He could be there on a high level business. We don't want him to go back to his country and say those Nigerians or Ghanaians were rude to me. You know what I'm saying? You don't want that. You know what I'm saying? You don't really care about what another Black person has to say. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way it is. Our level of civilization hasn't really improved much since slavery. That's something that I fight for, and and people don't understand why do I talk the way I do. People being in trouble. Carl, you don't say that. These are things that have to be said. These are things that have to be talked about. You know what I'm saying? So people will get off the line. Well, Carl's going to say this. Carl's going to say that. Yeah, I'm going to say that. Yeah, I'm going to say what I'm going to say. Why? Because I want things to change. know what I'm saying? I'm saying the bottom line is if you want to be second class citizen, let people abuse your women, let people rape the continent and everything. I'm not gonna sit back and be what do you think I'm gonna do? Sit back and just say everything's all up? No, get the hell out of here. That's my goddamn continent. You know what I'm saying? That's my motherland. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say something. I don't give a damn who doesn't like it. If something's going wrong on the continent, if something's going wrong in Black America, I'm gonna speak out and say something about it. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the way the fact that we have to basically be tippy toe around everybody, and we have to be on our P's and Q's and everything. But at the same time, you got Europeans and everybody come there and they do the most abusive things on the continent, and somehow Africans don't even have a freaking problem with it. I got a problem with that. I got a serious problem with that. There's something wrong. Why two 70-year-old women are dead right now? You know what I'm saying? Over dispute over some land? Come on. And nobody's mad about it? I'm watching videos of grown ass white men with little children in the Gambia, you know what I'm saying? Talking about these are my wives.
Colin, I promise you, every time when I'm leaving Africa, I promise you, at the airport, it's some old, crusty, sunburnt European with some young African girl in the airport.
That maybe it's a good reason I haven't been to the continent yet. Because I will haul off and break that dude right in the face. I would not let that happen in front of me. You know what I'm saying? So, right, I'm going to make my move to the continent and everything like that, but it's not going to be a pretty sight. You know what I'm saying? If you think it's going to be the same old, hell no, it's not. Hell no, it's not. So the bottom line is that's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? And I said,
every time, bro. It's just
I can't even. I can't. I see it on videos, right?
And people I see it in person, and then you'll see the old white women with the young African dudes.
Yeah, and that's another thing. You know what I'm saying? The Yahoo boys. You know what I'm saying? The Yahoo boys got old women in Europe in love with them, sending them money. Africa, where is your goddamn pride? Don't talk to me about African Americans, man. I don't want to hear anything you got to say. Where is your damn pride? You sitting there courting old ass white women in freaking Europe and whatnot for love and money and everything like that, man. We got to get together. And we have to keep putting my foot up your ass when I'm going to keep saying it, I'm going to keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? We're going to keep saying it until things change. No, everything ain't all right. Same thing in Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? Whole island, you know what I'm saying? The black people own absolutely nothing in Jamaica. Chinese, everybody else owned everything and everything. The only thing you got the Jamaican guys know how to do is smoke weed and sit on the beach and wait for foreign tourists to come in for sex and everything. It's so friggin' damning and humiliating and disgusting. I don't know what to say. The black race got to get its act together. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a damn about nobody's feelings anymore. It is what it is. We want to be a free people. We gotta start acting like a dang free. Don't call yourself the white man's equal or the Chinese man equal when you act like a freaking slave. You know what I'm saying? That's the one thing about the African American. They never broke us.
And it was crazy, but what's crazy, Colin, in Europe, especially you heard about the kid in Greece last year, Bakari Henderson, trying to holler at some white girl, got his ass killed in the street.
Yeah.
And then the people who did it, Greece let them out on bail, $500 bail, and allowed them to return back home to Serbia.
Yeah. You got these white trash countries like Serbia, Ukraine. These countries are poorer and less developed than many African countries. But yet they go around Europe and everything like that, thinking they're superior and everything. And then one of the guys said, well, we thought he was an African immigrant. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing. You know what I'm saying? When you travel, you so-called Negroes in America, you travel around the world and everything, they assume you're from Africa and whatnot. They assume they could do that and get away with it. They did not know he was a U.S. citizen. You know, and what gets me is even though he was a U.S. citizen, What was the U.S. government at? You know what I'm saying? One of your citizens was killed in a foreign country.
Hold on, you just said something. The U.S. government has been hushed on this Bakari Henderson situation.
This is why
but listen, when the girl disappeared in Italy, I think it was like maybe like 8 years ago.
Yeah,
10 years ago. They were all over that shit.
Of course. Let me tell you something. When it comes to black people in worldwide, I've learned this a long time ago. They don't give a rat's ass about us internationally. That's why when people start talking about Carlo, how you want independent, why? Because if we're talking about one day having an African development fund or a Pan-African fund and billions of dollars we're gonna raise to build Africa, we better be able to protect it ourselves. Because as you see now, I'm giving you an example. There ain't gonna be no U.S. government, no United States coming to help you out if somebody tries to move in on whatever you try to invest in. You know what I'm saying? If they can't protect, they don't care about life and limb. They said nothing about the ladies in Fianca. They said nothing about this brother in Greece. And many other times, African American, they don't say nothing about the missing black women in the America and whatnot. They don't give a goddamn about you. You know what I'm saying? Black people disappear overseas all the time. And the United States government doesn't give a damn about it. You know what I'm saying? So, what you call? Carlos embarrassing himself. Nakutori, how exactly am I embarrassing myself? You know what I'm saying? How exactly am I embarrassing myself? I'm telling the freaking truth.
People, Colin, real quick. The case I was talking about was her name was Meredith Kircher. Thank you in the chat room. And they arrested she was a British student who was killed in Italy, and then they arrested an American girl named Amanda Knox.
Oh yeah. She get out?
And then they
try to blame it on black.
Arrested a black guy named Rudy. Black guy. Yeah, but they're saying he might get off into this year. He might get out into this year.
Oh, wait a minute. No. Wait a minute. I thought that he was completely innocent, though.
He was innocent, but come on, man. Of course they're gonna blame a black guy.
You know what I'm saying? It's just, like I said, the bottom line is, it's just really just telling. You know what I'm saying? The United States.
But listen, and sorry to cut you off though, because this shit is making me upset. But then Bakari Henderson, the people that killed him, $500 bail, they get to go back to Serbia or wherever they came from.
Yeah. Or remember when that time where Natalie Holloway was killed in Aruba?
Yeah.
At first they arrested a bunch of black guys. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They arrested a whole bunch of black guys, right? Knowing that one white boy did it. You know what I'm saying? That white boy did it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever happened, he still got off because his parents were rich, whatever like that. They arrested a whole bunch of black guys. They're about to fry these guys. They're about to send them back to Alabama. Even a crime happened in friggin' Aruba. A blonde, blue-eyed white girl was killed in your island. Somebody got to pay for this shit. That one black girl the same year was killed and found dead in Ghana, right? No forensics. The United States State Department and the embassy didn't demand their toxicology or anything like that. So the bottom line is this. Moving forward. You know what I'm saying? We see Africa as like a heaven, this thing, everything, but there's a lot of things we got to work out on the continent. You know what I'm saying? We got to work out a lot of things. And also we want to talk about why is it that so many Africans are leaving the continent. You know what I'm saying? And I can't fathom, brother. I can't fathom. You got a friggin' whole continent there. Whole continent. And you got all the natural resources. You got domestic markets potential. You got land. You got lush beaches. You got everything in the world to make yourself a sustainable civilization and develop. But yet, you're in Israel right now talking about it's racism because the Israelis don't want you in their border.
No, here we go, Kala. Hold on, hold on. In fact, continue talking. My camera's acting up. But no, this is what it is, Kala. This is what it is. Dinus, hold on, I'm trying to work on my African accent. Dinus, Israel is the promised land. Africa is not. The Jews, Israel is the promised land. It is the promised land. They are God's chosen people. That's why they want to go to Israel.
And also, matter of fact, remember there was a couple of last year. There was a bunch of Kenyans who wanted to sue the state of Israel for their crucifixion of Jesus. You know, they said they wanted to bring an international lawsuit against the state of Israel for the crucifixion of Jesus. You know, and I'm saying to myself, it'd be sad if it wasn't so funny.
No,
You think I'm
no.
joking?
I gotta look it up. I don't believe
Don't
you.
let me look that up, man.
I don't believe you.
Oh,
You're
yeah,
lying.
give me 1 second. Give me a second. I'm looking at that. I'm looking at that. You think I'm joking, man? You think I'm joking?
You're lying.
We're not here to clown. We're not here to clown Africa tonight. You know what I'm saying? But Africa, we love you, man. But y'all gotta do some change, man. Y'all got to get together, man. Because like I said, this is where the African American side come out to us, man. Man.
I don't believe you, Colin. You got to show me the facts.
I don't clown the hell out of Kenyan Christians sue Israel. I kid you not. Yep. Here it is. It popped right up, man. It popped right up. All right, it popped right up. Kenya is just times of Israel. All right. Let's see, man. Let's go to the Google share. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to the Google share and let's look at this together.
Oh my God, bro, I'm looking at it right now. This is just.
you thought I was dying, right?
I thought you were lying. I'm sorry, Colin. I thought you were lying, bro. I thought you were making this up.
I tell you, Kenyan, look at this. And there's one guy was like, this guy came in with white guy came with long hair, and all the people in the village thought he was Jesus. Look, Jesus right there, man. Taking Rome and Jerusalem to the ICB, Dola and Dyson says the trial 2,000 years ago to the Jews will be colored and biased for prejudice. So basically, they're suing Jesus for suing Jews and the Romans for the malicious and the violation of Jesus' right and his crucifixion. Like I said, if I wasn't making this up, man, if it wasn't so sad, I think it would be funny. You know what I'm saying? So the bottom line is it's just the mentality that we are, that we're in. That we're in. And also, didn't we want to talk about? I want to talk about Liberia, right? We haven't talked about Liberia in a long time. You know what I'm saying? Okay, here's the thing. And can you mute, Dice? Okay. You are screen sharing. We'll take that off. Okay. Now, whole thing is this: besides Ethiopia, the only African republic that was black controlled. Well, Ethiopia was a kingdom that became a republic later on in the 1950s. Okay, Liberia was the only country from top to bottom of the continent that was created by black people, a republic. In other words, basically, when you're a republic, you have a defined set of borders. You have a defined location on the globe. You have limits as far as like where your airspace is, your seaways, your sea shoreline, and your coastline. And not only that, most important thing about a republic is you are recognized. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have recognition, then you are not a republic. In other words, people recognize your sovereignty when they sail into your waterways. You got to show your flag in your ship. When they go to your port, you have to pay duties. You know what I'm saying? You have the privilege of collecting duties and taxes. You know what I'm saying? You have a right to impound stuff that come into your waterways. You know what I'm saying? The trespassing into waterways. That is what's called being a republic and having what we call sovereignty over land. Any violation of the sovereignty undermines and demeans the whole idea of the republic. Liberia, for 100-something years, never had its sovereignty violated. There was never any European army, navy, and everything that ever invaded Liberia's space. That means the government and administration, and like in Monrovia, its capital, had complete control over 43,000 square miles, and it was actually 80,000 square miles at one time, double the way it is now, of territory. The only place on this earth where black men absolutely ruled and had administrative administration and sovereignty in the world. You know what I'm saying? Why the thing is, and I'm trying to connect this with the with today, right? Why would the black man in America uh, sacrifice, or what kind of person would choose to endure what we went through in America, knowing that we're never going to be industrialists, knowing that we're never going to have power or anything that we want, knowing we're never going to build the community, knowing we're never going to be safe from white people. When white people lynch black people, this is the reason why they lynch black people and lynch black people publicly before it was, even to this day with the police, is to remind you, you know what I'm saying? When you're driving down the street in a nice sports car, and a white person driving beside you, right? You would think, okay, well, I'm doing good, he's doing good, and everything. But in the white person's mind, right, he still sees this as his land, his sovereignty, his dominion, his domain. Now, if you don't get the point of that, right, he just knows he just have to wait a little while, be patient, because he knows there's gonna be some blue and red lights in back of you, right? You're gonna get pulled over, and you're gonna have things happen to you that remind you that this is not your country, but it's his. Before it used to be the Ku Klux Klan, and they used to lynch you right in front of a courthouse with a judge sitting there smoking a cigar. You know what I'm saying? When you went to Liberia and you had a country of your own, that did not happen. And like I said in my novel, one of the things that made the Liberians endure was the stories they were hearing back in America about lynchings and stuff like that. You think about it. They were living peaceful and tranquil on the shores of Africa, the ancestral homeland, the best way they could. And they were hearing stories, that's what the word for this is called serenity. What is serenity? And we're going to listen to this very, very careful. And people always ask, what's your motivation, Kala? I believe in a simple thing called serenity, something I never experienced in all the years I've been on this earth. Some people will say, do you want $1 billion? Do you want millions of dollars? Do you want this? Do you want this? Do you want all this? I just want to know what serenity feels like. What is serenity? Serenity is not freedom from the storm. Serenity is peace and tranquility amidst the storm. Do you remember those days where when you was a kid, you didn't have to go nowhere, and it's thundering and lightning outside, the wind's blowing and everything, and you're sitting in your house with your siblings, your cousins, and everything, and you guys just enjoying yourself, watching TV all the way, and you don't have to go anyplace? That's what serenity is. Serenity is, outside this door right here is all chaos and thing, but I'm sitting here safe and sound while all the chaos is going on around me. That's what Liberia meant to the black race. It was serenity. You know what I'm saying? You knew about all the problems going on in Congo. You knew about all the problems, the wars in South Africa with the British. You knew about the lynchings and everything going on in America. You knew about all that, but you were nice and safe and sound on the continent. Why is it that story isn't the focal point of the black narrative? Why? Because we let other races of people tell us that getting beaten and sick by hoses, marching for equal rights and everything in America was what we're supposed to do. Other races of people, they'll take their serenity and their peace and tranquility as the benchmark and as the ideal of what they want to be or what they want to be. You mess with that, and they will they will go to war. People will go to war just to have that that sense of peace and reassurance. That's what white America has. You know what I'm saying? White America has, between the Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean, a sense that no matter what happens in the world and whatnot, I'm safe in between these borders. Why? Because I control my race, and people that look like me control the infrastructure of this land. You know what I'm saying? And whatever goes down on this land, we can crush. Inside, the police, you do what you will have to do. If it means killing black people, putting fear in them, whatever, that's never going to end. What part of that's never going to end? Because if that does end, right? If white people don't feel like they have something, if that white skin don't give them that sense of security, you are in serious trouble because you will see clan numbers start coming in the millions. You know what I'm saying? Right now, they don't need the Klan because they got the police, they got the courts, they got the Republicans, they got everything. They don't need the Klan anymore. They have that sense of serenity, and you take that from white America, you know what I'm saying? And then you're going to have problems. You say, well, what does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean us? What does that mean to us? That means the bottom line is this. If you just sit back, right, and a sacrifice, now I'm saying this is right, but as a sacrifice, turn the other cheek, turn the blind eye to the Trayvon Martins, turn the blind eye to the Michael Browns, turn the blind eye to the inequality, turn the blind eye to the police brutality and everything. You will get better. You know what I'm saying? Concentrate on sports, you know what I'm saying? Football season, concentrate on basketball season, concentrate. We give you rap videos, you know what I'm saying? We give you this TV show Power. Hey, look, we got Superfly coming out. We'll give you everything you can, but one thing you won't do is you will shut the hell up and recognize that another race of people is in power, and you just boo-hoo, and we'll let you complain once in a while. We'll give you an outlet, you know what I'm saying? We'll let Mr. Farrakhan make a speech condemning us and everything, blah, blah, blah. But the bottom line is this. You are going to go to work for us every day. You ain't building no businesses and everything. You're not building anything to threaten us. You ain't building no infrastructure in America. You ain't building no military. You ain't gonna rise up and everything like that. It ain't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Somebody said no justice, no peace. Well, you just keep saying that. You just keep saying, no justice, no peace. We're gonna rise up with that. The white man has peace.
Rise up.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, the problem is you say no justice, peace. Keep saying that. You don't have any justice. You don't have any peace. But the people that pressing you do, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna rise up and whatnot. No justice, no peace. I'm gonna rise up. Well, yeah, shut the hell up.
Everybody, let's get the likes. We have 165 people watching, only 94 likes. Please hit that like button. Also, too, man, I want to thank you for the support, everybody. We hit 20,000 subs today. I started taking this platform more serious. Started putting more time into it last year, as far as the live streaming and putting out consistent content. When I first started, I would just post a couple of videos from Africa and I wouldn't touch my page. I might post maybe 10 videos a year, if even that. Then last year I started coming on more, started collabing more, started getting more people on. And, the subscription base has grown. So, thank you so much for the support, and make sure you hit that like button. All right, go ahead, Kala.
Yeah, and we want to also, folks, share and like, man. It's a shame Brother Dinas is not up to 2 million votes. When I got people out there, what's the with the strawberries and the vagina thing? Yeah, your boy Yada, whatever his name is.
Yeah. Girls, women are supposed to have menstrual cycles.
Yeah. And also the black man created ice cream and whatnot. And this fool gets 2 million subscribers. Something's freaking wrong. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is. I think YouTube and Google likes coonery. You know what I'm saying? Coonery sells. Sells more than the real thing.
I think you just answered it. Coonery sells. There you go. You just answered.
Yeah, coonery sells. Yeah, coonery sells. But I'm glad. Well, at least we got strong people. Because I couldn't take having a minstrel show in the chat room every day. At least 80% of the people in the chat room seem to be on the up and up. You know what I'm saying? We do got a couple of coons, but you know what I'm saying? You can't do nothing about that. You win some, you lose some. But so what I'm saying is this. Okay, this is what it is. We live in captivity, right? Now, for the most part, most of us are going to die in captivity in America. That's going to happen. But don't you think, right? The question I want to ask people is this: why is it that you would be against the idea of having a state, even if you don't go there, but something you can invest in or visit or travel to and everything? But you know that when you touch the ground everything in that land is about you. Everything is about you. Everything caters to you. You don't even want that. You know, I don't. What I don't say it's the thorough brainwashing. You know what I'm saying? Everything about that in that land is about you, your history, your culture, your people, and what you want to do and everything like that. You know, you don't have to answer. You don't have white people walk around comfortable. You know what I'm saying? White people are too comfortable in Africa. You know, they walk around, and Diane said in the show the other day, he says, "Oh, why do white people like Africans more than they like African Americans?" It's simple. You know what I'm saying? What Africans, you know, and I've noticed this for a long time, and I didn't really want to believe this was true. You know what I'm saying? But I would often see white guys, right, middle class white guys, and whatnot, and they have a black friend, right, and they're all like, "Yeah, let's go down here," and they're all out there in the bar. I know Diane's seen this before. They're all in the bar having drinks and everything. They say, "Yo, yeah, we'll go." And then when you get closer, right, you hear the bro's accent. Oh, that bro, oh, he's from the continent. You know what I'm saying? And the white person just sitting there, this, that, thing. They don't say so. Let's say this is like before I really got on the internet. Look, I got on the internet back in 2006, 2007, right? I used to see this, right? Since I wasn't really on the internet, I never talked about it. I never discussed it with nobody. So I started doing my investigation and whatnot. And all of a sudden I started asking some of these African dudes, and and the consensus was, oh, they like us, but they don't like you. Right? I had a African guy, Liberian guy. Should I say his name? Should I say his name? Should I say?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
My boy Barton, Kulak, Dr. Kulak. He told me that he said, well, he's a Liberian, right? Refugee, living in America, right? He was swearing to God Hillary Clinton was going to win, right? Now he's like, oh, we need your help because they're gonna deport us all next year. Well, anyway, he was telling me that when he was living in Alabama, he said white America's. I've been in this white people's house. They said they will let him in the house because he's Liberian, rather than an African American. Now this is a guy that I've been arguing back and forth with. He's an indigenous Liberian, but he was educated by American Liberians, right? They come over to America to cash in on the American racial caste system. In other words, basically, if I go to a country, right? If I go to South Africa right now, right, and I start hanging around white South Africans, right, and start putting down the belittling black South Africans. If I go to South Africa right now, I'm gonna be treated better. I know I'm gonna be liked better than the black South African because it's a cultural dynamic down there right now. You know what I'm saying? I will be able to be liked better because I'm from the United States, right? But most black people who go to South Africa want to link with Africans in South Africa, not white people. Why is it that when Africans come over here, it's just the opposite? They come over here and it's like, geez, you don't want to join our struggle. You don't want to be with us. You think we're troublemakers and everything. I remember when I first moved to Virginia, I had and everybody piled on about this. And this is why I'm so glad I'm living in the time I'm living in. You know what I'm saying? Because Black America is getting stronger. Our reach is getting stronger, and we're not apologizing to nobody. I want people to know, yeah, there is a Black America, and we are getting stronger. And the whole thing is this. I had this Filipino guy tell me, I was working with him when I first moved to Virginia. He said, well, look, man, my father came over here on a boat, from the Philippines and everything like that. He's always bragging me every day. And he came here, his father had the money. The Dabu family and everything, they're a prominent Filipino family. My brother married to a Filipino, and the prominent Filipino family that a lot of Filipinos don't like because it's snobbish, The worst snobbish people are the people that had money in the Philippines, or people get rich Filipinos, they're the worst. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But they do mix with black people a lot. But those racist Filipinos, they're the worst. They got their head so far white people's ass they can see out the white man's nose. Anyway, he's like always bragging me. My father had nothing and whatnot. He come to, I said, Virginia, man, down here is dirt poor, whatever. He said, but he came here with nothing and everything. And he got like 5 buildings. He got and he said his father was basically a slumlord. He goes, yeah, we got to go over there and fix this place up. And you got people over there. Your people live like animals in these neighborhoods over there. I said, hey, look, man, don't talk about people like that. He just said, well, we have We have came over here. We had nothing. This and the other thing. Now we got this, and you guys man been here for all this time. Y'all don't have nothing. Yeah. So basically, people come with this idea that immigrants, when you see immigrants, that one day people of color are gonna be the majority. Dude, I'm gonna tell you right now, these immigrants coming over here are your freaking worst enemies. Just like when the white immigrants came to America, a lot of black people thought, "Oh, we got new allies, and when they don't speak the language, so they might join with us and everything." How'd that work out? You know what I'm saying? They discovered they were white.
I'm gonna tell you how it worked out. New York riot, Irish immigrants
Irish
killed, murder
immigrants doing that.
28 black people. Yeah, that's how it worked out.
That's how it worked out. You know what I'm saying? And you still got people like Jesse Jackson. Oh, we got to build a working class. The working class white. Let me tell you something. There's just as much racism in the working class white power structure with the unions and everything as there in corporate America. You know what I'm saying? And so, oh yeah, we got immigrants, we got people of color coming over here. We got these people over here. Look at our numbers grow. Look at all these immigrants trying to get here from Central America. These people are going to get here just to long enough so they can learn a little bit of English and they're going to join together with whites to friggin' try to do UN. You know what I'm saying? Because the white man has it set like that. If you really want to make it in America, you have to show hostility towards the descendants of slaves. And that goes from African immigrants to Asian immigrants to Hispanic immigrants. Everybody hates African Americans. You know what I'm saying? We have no freaking friends. Even some of our friends. Now, I'll be honest with you. I love my brother from the Caribbean in New York. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how it turned out in the South and everything, because a lot of brothers I mean from the South don't like reggae, they don't like Caribbean. So they're like, we don't into that. Some of them do whatever like that, whatever like that. But for the most part, man, the Caribbean community held us down, man. They came over here. They were a lot of times they were more educated than we were. They were business oriented. They were family oriented and everything like that. And the synergy between African Americans and the people from the islands built New York City. You know what I'm saying? We merged together as one powerful black community. You know what I'm saying? That didn't happen in everything. I don't know the story in Detroit and everything, in the Chicago. But we benefited from the Caribbean and the people from the West Indies. They were educated. They loved education. They loved hard work. The hardworking people and stuff like that. So they were like role models to us in many ways. You know what I'm saying? And so the people from the Caribbean and New York and everything, and the love is there. That's where you get the Marcus Garveys and the brothers from Jamaica and Haiti and stuff like that. New York or just something else. That was then. Now I don't know what happened over the last 10 years. Tell me why we got a little Haiti in Harlem. Haitians used to mix with us. You know what I'm saying? Now you got a little Senegal. You know what I'm saying? These little tribal segregated things. Nobody wants to be identified with African Americans. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to be identified with being part of the black overall community. But when it's come times to get jobs and benefits and everything, you know what I'm saying? When it comes time to get jobs and benefits and everything, suddenly everybody's black. Oh, we're all black. Or when Amu Diabo, Amu Louima, who stuck up for these brothers? It was Alton Maddox and C. Brennan Mason and everything, black lawyers and that stuck up for these brothers from the Caribbean. You know what I'm saying? We stick up for the people because they're black. You know what I'm saying? But the whole thing is a lot of immigrants, man, and then, like I said, like your sister said, can you really blame them? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I think Black America, we're running our time out. You know what I'm saying? It's obviously nobody wants to keep fighting this war in America. Everybody just buckling down and doing their own thing and whatever. Nobody wants to fight this white man forever. Everybody wants peace in America. Everybody just wants to get in where they fit in it. If it means making up with white people, if it means turn the other cheek, if it means forgetting slavery, you know what I'm saying? They will do it. And that's what we're facing. Black America politically in the American context is getting weaker and weaker. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Emmanuel says, Lou Juma says, Carla, by saying that, you indirectly encourage us to hate African Americans do not hate Africans. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? What is this? Why do people take these? One thing I say and make these blanket general statements. Hate is a freaking strong word. You know what I'm saying? Would you stop that nonsense? I'm not speaking no hatred for Africans. You know what I'm saying? The fact of the matter is, Bottom is everybody from the world. They come over here and whatnot, and America brings people to their worst level. You know what I'm saying? America makes people act like they're stupid and they're foolish. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to give in. Nobody wants to challenge the white man and white supremacy in America. The only people that was willing to take on white supremacy is black people from America because we don't worship these people like you, the people, immigrants do. We were here when this country is not shit. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't shit. We were here when this country was just woods, and we helped develop this country, built this country. You know what I'm saying? So everybody come out here, this beautiful country, America. Yeah, we were here when this country was nothing. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna sit here and be like, oh, let me just be a good little Negro and whatnot. Okay, you can do that because you came here voluntarily. You know what I'm saying? The fact of the matter, we never asked to be brought here. You know what I'm saying? We were made to work for 250 years for no pay and no nothing, which built this country. So we're not gonna sit here and shut up to appease everybody. Everybody's like, oh yeah, this, that, and the other thing. Everybody wants the benefits of whatever struggle we put out there. But nobody ever wants to put in any work. Nobody want to pay their dues. Pay your dues means, yes, you're going to have conflict with white America. You know what I'm saying? You see the way they're treating Haiti right now? You see Haiti right now? Right now, you had a so-called liberal president, Bill Clinton and whatnot, and Haiti's worse off than it is right now. How the hell do you think that happened? That happened because they have no respect for you. They have absolutely no respect for black countries. You know what I'm saying? So sit here and tell me about me. You know what I'm saying? If we want to, and then now that you have Haitians in America, what are you doing for your homeland? You know what I'm saying? If you say, hey, Haiti's paying all this money to France and everything, how can you ever use your political leverage in America to say, look, let's change the dynamic? I think Haiti's been suffering way too long. No one's doing a damn thing. Are we the only group of black people that's willing to get bruised and licked and everything? Nobody says anything. All these islands in the Caribbean, every last single one of them is poor. Every one of them. There's not one success story in the freaking Caribbean except for Bermuda. Bermuda's is prosperous, but it's basically white. You know what I'm saying? You got some black people there, but it's basically white. It's still a British colony. You know what I'm saying? And I got family from Bermuda. Relatives, distant relatives from Bermuda. You know, Barbados is a little bit, but still, majority of people, Caribbean people, the Caribbean islands are friggin' poor. You know what I'm saying? Lush Caribbean stuff, but European white people vacation down there, but the islands are friggin' poor. They have not come up. They have not connected with Africa. They have not connected with Black America. We have not done anything to lift ourselves. So it can't be all on us. You know, when you come to America, you join this black struggle. You know what I'm saying? You join the black struggle whether you like it or not.
Kala, people are asking now for solutions. They're saying stop being a Debbie Downer and give us some solutions.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question. People say solutions. You know what I'm saying? If you look at the BAIO, I tell you this is land infrastructure nation. We need one particular state on a global scale. I tell this, but people don't believe it. You need one particular state where the black people in America have no geopolitical power. And I'm gonna go even further. I don't believe any of the black people in the Caribbean have any geopolitical power. You know, I don't believe any black people in this Western Hemisphere have any real power on the world stage. There's not one freaking country. There's very few African countries that have any sort of influence. We have to basically build the African continent. You know what I'm saying? That has to be where our power, political power base lies. Now, I don't know what else to tell you besides that. Some people don't agree with that. If you don't agree with that, I don't know what else to tell you. And we tell you how we do it. Land infrastructure nationhood. You know what I'm saying? Building trade. I said I support the brother Jay Morris, what he's doing right here with this crowdfunding. I'm gonna get people, oh no, don't. You know, this, that, the other thing. You put out solutions. Jay Morris comes out with solutions and whatnot. They take that apart. So you give people solutions, they don't like this, they don't like the answer. That I said that idea of raising capital and building capital and black people being able to finance and build for ourselves and everything like that is the answer. That's the solution. We should be able to do trade. But let me give you an example. The whole entire black.
Holipsism says, if Colin doesn't stop, I'm going to call him a misery merchant. You just told him to talk about solutions and he went right back to the problems.
Funny. That's funny. Check this out. The problem is check this out. The problem is this, right? Not to sound like a misery merchant, right? The problem is this: black people in the world consume, but we don't produce. In order for you to produce, you have to have a base of production, a base of operations. Okay? Well, elementary. Haiti, forget it. Let's just move Haiti aside. That's a different topic. Well, let's move Black America aside. That's a different topic because we have no say so over where things are built or any refineries. We don't have any say so over anything that goes on in America. Wait a minute, geez, Jamaica. Let's move them to the side. You know what I'm saying? The Chinese and everybody else own Jamaica. Geez, man, you know something? We're fucked. You got a people in the Western Hemisphere that produce nothing that we consume. You buy cars, but you don't make steel. You buy gas, but you don't refine oil. Nobody that looks like you refines oil. You eat food, but you don't grow. You don't have no farms, no industries, no factories, because you're not coordinated in a concentrated in the areas. The bottom line is this: we are still suffering the effects and the destruction and displacement of slavery. Can anyone understand what I'm talking about? We are still the displacement of slavery, and the only way to remedy that is to reverse that. And it has to come from a migration and a building of the African continent. You know what I'm saying? While we have a base, we can produce and build, and then the money and the wealth that we generate will circulate back into our own system. That's the only way. Now, if anybody don't understand that, please step up. We are still suffering because the Europeans brought us over here for 300 something years, right? And we're still suffering under their economic infrastructure. I did a show a couple of years ago, white Euro infrastructure. Their banks, their Wall Street, their ships, everything you see and have that possesses you, their power grid, everything you do and say, you're in their system. This is a result of, you have how many people in Brazil? Or how many black people in Brazil? What, 80, 90 million? You have 45 million in the United States, another 10, 15 million in the Caribbean and Canada and everything. Out of almost 200 million black people in the Western Hemisphere, we produce nothing because we control nothing, because we don't have any power. There's no power base. There's no place where we have ownership. We have no government. We have no military. And the only way to remedy that is to reverse that. And the only way to reverse that is on the continent of Africa. Everything you see, all the complete destruction you see right here will completely be reversed. So, like I said, so I'm looking at the chat. Now, when I just gave them a solution, I don't see anybody adding thing. What you call Duke of York? Oh, the entire Earth is under white supremacy. Okay, the white man's Thanos. Let's give a Thanos the Infinity Gauntlet. Duke of York, the entire Earth is under white supremacy. That's the white man's Thanos, Duke. That doesn't exist. The white man doesn't control China. The white man doesn't control Japan. The white man has very little interest in Asia. The Asians rose up. The Asian people rose up and took back and reclaimed the region. If you look at the Asian shipping lanes in Asia, it's all Asian shipping companies. It's Asian steel companies. Asia produces all the steel, all its electronics. China and Japan alone has $400 billion worth of trade going back and forth. How much trade goes back and forth between Africa and the Caribbean? Nothing. Because we don't control the economies in those countries. Do we understand? Oh, we don't call it. You ain't giving no solutions. You ain't no solutions. I'm just telling you what like it is. That's the problem. The solution is build a trade. How can you build a trade when you're not the majority? When Haiti's still controlled by the French. Black America is controlled by everybody but themselves. And we still sit here and question a young brother coming up with an idea to build capital and stuff like that. His little attempt to build Tulsa, we're going to attack him for that. You know? So the bottom line is Africa, China, Japan are under U.S. No, they're not. China, the Korea and Japan are not under no U.S. No U.S. U.S. has bases over there. That's it. If you know anything about economy, Japan's economy is the third largest in the world. The United States sells almost nothing in Japan. The United States has a trade deficit with Japan. So what are you talking about? Same thing with South Korea. I got these people up here that don't know anything, don't have any education. Everything's gonna make some ad hominem tax. Not on my watch. Not everybody is like us. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's like us. If the Asians could stand up to white supremacy and fight these people, go to war. If you look at Japan, I look at the History Channel and everything. How Japan rose up and built this military, and then waited 85 years to fly those planes over Pearl Harbor, and that was amazing. You know what I'm saying? And then fought it out in the Pacific with the United States, island by island, and everything like that, until they finally were defeated. The black man has never done jack. But sit on the freaking internet about everybody's gonna know. The other people are fighting. China's trying to take over the world. They're making the move right now. They're building a new Silk Road that's connecting Beijing all the way to the heart of Africa, through railways and trains and all this kind of stuff like that. That's what travel. The Silk Road is thousands of years old. They're building a modern Silk Road. Pretty soon you're not going to have any overseas shipping because everything's going to come through land. So if you don't know what's going on, just sit back and let me teach you and shut the hell up. So all these people up there with the white man is Thanos, the white man is God. You want to be lazy and everything. The problem is we sit in America and we sit in the comfort of the white man and everything. And the bottom line is like we're like a caged animal in the zoo. You know what I'm saying? If you take a gorilla, right, that's been raised in captivity, right, and you can open that cage, right, let him out. He'll run wild for a day, but guess what? He'll come right back to that cage, right, look for his bananas and shut the door right behind him because he doesn't know any better. That's how we are. So sitting back and let. So if you want to be a caged animal, hey, fine, that's fine. But if you want real liberation, everything, it's time for us, black people in the West, to be part of Africa. And how we be part of Africa is building a state on the continent where our best and brightest can go and build science, industry, technology, and everything, and give the future generation a chance. The future generation will reverse this hell on earth we go through right now called captivity. Right now, the reason why no one respects us is because we are living in captivity. This is why everybody thumbs their nose at us. This is why everybody comes on the boat. Everybody thinks they're superior to us. Why? They don't see you as an American. They don't see you as one of them. They see you as a descendant of slaves. And they're taught, excuse me, they're taught in their country that these people ain't shit. Africans are taught these people ain't shit. Stay away from them. They're dirty. They're ignorant. They're violent. I don't like those people. And they'll come right into your community, open up businesses and everything, and take your money. That's what the problem is. Some more questions, Diane? I'm ready. You might.
Yeah, I think we covered everything for the most part. I don't see any more questions in the chat room. Let's see here.
Okay.
Hojan K. Here we go. Is Kala familiar with the term neocolonialism? He doesn't seem to have a mastery of how most African governments operate and what they can't actually do.
Well, it's like this. I'm glad you asked. Good question. That's a good question. Now, when people say neocolonialism, right? And I'm gonna break this down to you, and listen to this very, very carefully. I'm sick of saying this, right? On one hand, there is such things as neocolonialism, but what I found out, right? What I found out is that there's African countries, right? African countries, uh, and I've said to this, or if I don't know if you listen to part when I talked about Liberia. Liberia is the only country that was never colonized. So if you say neocolonialism, well, how do you explain Liberia? Liberia was destroyed by a coup in 1980, and the indigenous population took over, right? And that's why it suffered. That's their problem is different than the rest of Africa. The rest of Africa is like this. I was watching a video about a year ago where the president of Gabon, I think it was the president of thing, he was getting beat up outside of a restaurant in France. Did you see that video, Titus?
I did not. I need to look that up.
Okay, he was some guy. One of his compatriots from his country was cursing him. Right, he was sitting in a restaurant, an outdoor cafe with with some white chicks, right? And this guy comes in, you are no good, blah 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 blah. First of all, there's no neocolonialism. There's only colonialism. You know what I'm saying? Write that down. You know what I'm saying? So we don't have to repeat this again. There's only colonialism. The Europeans who had these nations in Africa put money into these countries, right, for initial infrastructure. For whatever infrastructure they put there. They built a railway connecting Mombasa, Kenya, into the interior, connecting all the way to Kampala, Uganda, right? They built a railway. Listen to this carefully. The railway line linking Cape Town and Durban all the way up into the interior was built by Cecil Rhodes. That rail line was supposed to go all the way to Egypt, Cape Town. These railways and these things are still could basically facilitate European exploitation, extraction from the African continent, while you have a so-called African government. Then you have these national game parks, a lot of them named after Europeans, Victoria Falls and stuff like that, Kruger Game Park, whatever. You have Europeans settlement, it's mostly in Southern Africa, basically the continent, right? These railways, these things, all they do is extract minerals and dump goods into the interior. There is no, listen to this, there is no network of railways and highways and connecting African cities. You cannot travel from Brazzaville and Kinshasa, which is right across the river, right? If they built a bridge, would link like 3 or 4 million people together, a trading block. But because one country has influenced by France and the other one's controlled by Belgium and everything, they kept apart. Same thing all in Africa. You will never see two African cities, major cities, on a border in each other. You think that's any accident? There's almost no trade. Go to any part of West Africa. Tell me if I'm lying. Look at any part of Africa. You will never see a major city in one country and a major city in another country within like 300 or 400 miles of each other or some natural barrier. Europeans did this strategically to make sure these population centers never unite. And instead of Africans saying, well, you know something, let's break neocolonialism, let my next door neighbor be my major trading partner and everything, they kept the same arrangements. Everything that comes in and out of Ghana comes through Western or European ships. There's almost no trade going on between two big populations. And Lagos is set to hit 20 million people and everything. And you got Ghana, Accra, Ghana has what, 10 million people? in all these cities. Instead of all these cities having like Asia does, where they connected all their cities in Asia by sea, by sea. People could travel by ship and ship goods along everything. Natural trade and commerce and everything that all the countries would benefit from. Africans, the only trading partners they have is their former colonial masters. That's because there's not a commitment to Pan Africanism. Now, people think when we think Pan Africanism, it all has to be emotional. Oh, my African brother, I love you, my African brother. No, Pan Africanism makes business sense. It makes geopolitical sense, right? You know what I'm saying? Somebody said Ghana is building a train to connect Burkina Faso and Ivory Coast. Well, hopefully, I mean, come on, 2018 already. Things like that should have been built like 30, 40 years ago. I've been studying African railway development for like 20 years now. A lot of these plans that I've studied 20, 25 years ago at the Shiloh Science Institute, you know what I'm saying, were on the books. They were given to African governments. I talked to African governments when I was young in the 90s and I said, look, man, this is going to be a good thing. Yeah, that's good and everything, but not interested in the overall development of Africa. It's all about what can I get now? How can I get rich? How can I look big? Nobody gives a damn about developing the continent as a whole. And that's what you have running the continent. And not only that, let's not blame so-called neocolonialism because that lets these crooks off the hook. If Africa said, look, Europeans, Chinese, and everything, you want to make money on the continent and whatnot, here's how you do it. Skills transfer, proper investment, you know what I'm saying? We're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do that, A, B, C, D. If you do that, we'll give you the protection, we'll give you a skilled labor force, we'll give you this, we'll give you that. People will do it. Why? Because they're making money and they're doing business. But when an envelope full of cash or a suitcase full of cash, and all it needs to get a deal done, nothing ever happens. If Kenya basically is building a port and it's not making any stipulations to employ their youths and everything, get their youths involved because that's too much trouble. They don't want to trouble the Chinese. Who do you blame? Do you blame the Chinese or do you blame the government for not saying, look, we want skills transfer? We want to employ our own youth because the next port we're going to build on our own. So 20 years later, the railways are not that hard to build. You still got, you would think Africans right now would have mastered the technique of building railways. You know what I'm saying? It's like, geez, well, why? Because you didn't require that that they train a certain amount of engineers, build engineering schools on the continent. So you put yourself in a neo-colonial. Then you say, well, it's neo-colonial. Neo-colonial because you want to be part of this so-called country because you believe they're superior to you. You believe they're white Jesus and all this kind of nonsense and everything. They would say neo-colonialism. Stop with that friggin' neo. It's neo-Negroism.
Whoa. Repeat that again. Hold on. Is this mic on mute? Repeat that again. Can you hear me, Carla?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, that we gotta do a show on that. It's not neo-colonialism, it's neo-Negroism.
It's neo-Negroism. It's a perpetuation of Negroism and being a nigger forever. You know what I'm saying? We dress it up as neo-colonialism. It's neo-Negroism. You know, stop being a Negro and step up to the friggin' plate.
Last question for tonight. Hold up says and wants to know what's the ask the chat room what the black agenda is. You there, Carla?
Oh, yeah. What is the agenda? What is the black agenda? The black agenda is a vague and abstract. Like I said, everything is vague and abstract. Something has to be real, tangible, and concrete. Having land, building infrastructure by which we have a global finance, banking, and logistical system. Matter of fact, the logistics in Africa and Black America is abysmal. Is abysmal. You know what I'm saying? It's just an utter friggin' shame that a whole entire continent has a net $90 billion a year loss every year because of poor logistics, poor communications, poor transportation, slow delivery because Africa doesn't have this, Africa doesn't have that, everything, incompetence, loss, theft, everything. A whole $97 billion a year loss. So in other words, Europeans put money in, right? But they secretly siphon it all out because they work together. And not only that, let me tell you something, all you white lovers on the continent. Whites on the continent are networked together. I don't know if you saw this or not, Dinus, right? Whites on the continent are in chat rooms and everything, from Kenya to South Africa, Nigeria.
Already know.
And then network together. And they basically on the continent looking out for their interests, you know what I'm saying? And they want some good old Negro Africans, you know what I'm saying, to align with, you know what I'm saying? And their biggest threat is the black people from the West. You know what I'm saying? So I'm near suspicious of every time somebody told, why are you going to have a black state on the continent? Because the most important thing about having an African or African American African dialects is the influence we're going to have on the continent. We're going to be there on the continent. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have a presence on the continent. You know what I'm saying? That's going to let people know that we're there. The slave descendants are there in your face. We're going to be on the continent, in force, not apologizing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know about Gbagbo. I know about all that. You know what I'm saying? I understand that. This, that, the other thing. He was overthrown, and Collado was put back in power in the Ivory. I know all that. I know all that. This, that, the other thing. We all know all that. But like I said, look at Mugabe. Mugabe survived all those years. You know what I'm saying? The Ivory Coast was. Let me tell you something about the Ivory Coast. You can't have a country where you're black Frenchmen. If you're gonna be Africans, you know what I'm saying, like they will tell us, or you're gonna be black Frenchmen. If you want to be a black Frenchman, you know what I'm saying, Ivory Coast is exactly what's gonna happen. The Ivory Coast belongs to France. It's a French colony. You know what I'm saying? It's a part of France. The allegiance to the allegiance to France and the French crown and all stuff like that is with the Ivory Coast is the allegiance with France. It's the number one in the French Union. It's the number one state in the French Union. You're part of the French Empire. France is his number one pet. You know what I'm saying? Ivory Coast is his number one pet. You can't talk Pan-Africanism, have Pan-Africanism. In other words, you can't be lukewarm. You can't be halfway crooks. If you're gonna go all the way and become a nationalist, well, how can you become a nationalist when you got so many different? The French will exploit tribalism in Ivory Coast at any time. It'll fall apart. That's exactly what happened to Gbagbo. They exploit tribal. They even brought some Liberians from the Kron tribe over there as fighters. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Some people want to back up Gbagbo. Some Kron people want to back up Gbagbo. Sirleaf stopped it. You know what I'm saying? After the behest of the French, because she don't want to. And Liberia that was her new government. She didn't want to piss the French off. In the hinterland right there. I know all this, folks. Before the conflict even happened, I could have wrote you a story and tell you how it was going to turn out. It's like a movie. I was like watching a movie. Every time a conflict happens in Africa, I can tell you exactly what's going to play out. It's so freaking easy. If I know it's this easy, what do you think the CIA does? They know your tribalism, your stuff like that. They know all this. They play you. That's what it is, folks. Either you're going to be an African, you're going to be a black African nation. That means join the Pan-African forces on the global scale. You know what I'm saying? French Africa, I don't know. People say French. I don't know if there's any hope in our lifetime for French Africa. Because the French are just determined to keep what they are. That's why I said people want to go to French Africa, Senegal, and Ivory Coast, and Gabon, and CAR, and Mali. Good luck to you. The French are something else. The French are something else in Africa. English Africa is dying. English Africa is dying because the English pull out of the European Union. What backs up these colonial governments is the European Union. England boarded out of the European Union during Brexit. So you might have some chances in the British former colonies. You know what I'm saying? That's why Zimbabwe is in where it is, because the British don't have the power in Africa like they used to have. The best part of Africa to me is Portuguese speaking Africa. You know what I'm saying? That's where the Africans fought bloody war in Guinea-Bissau, Angola, and Mozambique. That was the most backward. Samora Michael said we were. He was sense of humor. Revolutionary Aluna Cultura. That means the struggle continues. He said, man. He said we. He says Africans walk around boasting about what colonial master was the best. Oh, but people from French Africa think they're superior to people from Portuguese Africa. And he was joking about it on stage. He said the British African thinks he's superior to the French African. Everybody's French. He goes, I was colonized. He's from Mozambique. He says he was a Mozambique leader. And he died in a mysterious plane crash, which always happens. And his wife
No,
ended up marrying. Yeah, I know.
allegedly, apartheid South Africa shot him
Yeah,
out
that's what I'm
there.
saying. And then, what you call Mandela married his wife. Mandela married his wife. Anyway, he said
Mandela married who?
Rachel Michael, that was his wife. That was Samora
Mandela.
Michael's wife. Nelson Mandela married her. Yeah, that was Mandela's last wife.
I thought Nelson Mandela was married to
Winnie?
help me out.
No,
Yeah.
man. They got divorced. They got divorced. He remarried. And Nelson Mandela remarried. He remarried in '98. Yeah. Yeah, Gracia Mitchell was Mandela's last wife. That was Samora Mitchell's wife. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you gotta understand the drama and the politics of Africa, man. It's really interesting. But anyway, Samora Mitchell said, look, the world doesn't fight, people don't fight for the vague and abstract. They fight for what's real and concrete. He said, we, as in Mozambique, got colonized by the most backward country in Europe, Portugal. You know what I'm saying? So the bottom line is Portuguese Africa is right for anything you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Portuguese Africa is probably the best part of Africa. You know what I'm saying? I'm bothered by this loyalty, this love for the British Crown I see in Ghana and Africa and all these people, the Queen and all stuff like that. We got a new princess and all this stuff. Even Negroes like Al Sharpton talking about, oh, the Queen. We got this is a great day for against white supremacy. You know, we got a black princess of wherever she is, in Cambridge, wherever she is. But the bottom, Rachel Mitchell, yeah, that's her name. Rachel Mitchell. That was Mandela's wife. She was Samora Mitchell's wife. You know what I'm saying? He died in a mysterious plane crash, helicopter crash, And some people say it was actually the apartheid government in South Africa. I believe it, There's always a mysterious plane crash in Africa. If you know anything about Africa, there's always a mysterious plane crash. So anyway, but he said the vague and abstract, people don't fight for the real, but vague and abstract. You fight for what's real, tangible. He goes, land, having buildings, having government, having wealth. That's real and tangible. That ain't. He was like, don't call me a communist. Don't call me. I want to do this. You know what I'm saying? That's vague and abstract. Because I'm fighting for what's real. We're trying to liberate our country, our land. We want our land back. At this lesson from the College Genesis tonight, I hope I basically explain. You know what I'm saying? Stop talking to me about neo-colonialism. It's neo-Negroism. You know what I'm saying? It's Negro stupidity. You know what I'm saying? You got black Africans and whatnot. The first thing they do when they get a beef with another person in their country, they don't solve it. Say, let's have a palaver, or let's have a meeting, let's have a summit, whatever like that. Iron things out. Everybody's out there trying to get power because as soon as you get in power, you got 4 or 5 years to loot and steal as much as you can and everything till they. And all you have to do is keep your colonial masters happy, and you'll stay in power. Same thing with this clown that's in President of Zimbabwe right now. What does he do? He's trying to get back into the British Commonwealth. You know what I'm saying? He got the okay from China to stage a coup. Now he's talking about bringing the white farmers back, and he wants to go into the British Commonwealth. Yeah. When he could have had a major deal with China and all these other countries to build Zimbabwe. You know what I'm saying? I got partners down there who know the guy. Mr. Rose, you saw the picture of Mr. Rosenthal, a partner talking to him and everything. Yeah, we can do it. But they still, some reason, it's not even about money and everything. They have a love and affection for the British Crown. Is that something we should really just accept? You know what I'm saying, Dinus? You know what I'm saying?
No.
But what can we do about it? These people they're part of the English. They raised reading British literature, British stories. They feel like they're part of the British Empire. Until we basically take down the British in their eyes on that. And maybe we need to start attacking the British and Europeans more. You know what I'm saying? Both from a position of humiliation. You know what I'm saying? Do they realize it wasn't for black soldiers in World War II that Germany probably would have won?
Germany would have won,
World
yeah.
War One. World War One. Do they freaking realize that? About the British freaking empire. It was black soldiers, the hellfighters, you know, so who beat the Germans. You know? Yeah, Mr. Rosenthal is my friend. I was on the phone with him today. Yeah, that's my partner. He's getting ready to return to Africa next month. You know, giving me an update on what's going on the ground, what we're doing on the continent. You know, he's returning next month. You know, so so the bottom line is yes.
Well, shoot. Yeah, well, Kala, where you know what we'll do? We'll go ahead and close out, man. Where can everybody find you? Oh, let me shout out the book, Kala. I promise I'm gonna start it tomorrow.
Okay.
Everybody.
Journey to the Promise. Journey. But I'm gonna say something about the book, and I'll give you a little excerpt. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now the book, I was fair. It's a book based on the Liberian Exodus of 1878 from Charleston, South Carolina, librarian. If you ever read Geoffrey Chaucer's The Canterbury Tale, it's a pilgrimage. These African Americans are leaving America to settle in Liberia, and they've all come from different backgrounds in the 1870s. Some were upper class, some were poor sharecroppers, everything like that. But they're all in ship, right? And then they had the middle passage. One chapter was called the Middle Passage, right? That's when the smallpox epidemic broke out. And they lost some passengers and everything like that, you know. And that's when the bonding between the different classes of black people on the ship, they started bonding together and stuff like that. And then by the end of the ship, they became known as Azorians. And we said, okay, we're in the ship. We had this voyage together, and now we call the Azorian, from the Azorian tribe. You know, they became a people on that ship, the Middle Passage, you know. And so, but the thing is, people were asking, why are you going to this country, right? Well, one of the things was some of the people had status in America. They had status in America. Why would you want to go to Liberia with that? Well, some people heard that Liberia, and I was very fair. And I was very fair because I know a lot of Native Liberians will read this book and be like, oh, you just made them like this. I was very fair about a couple of things, right? Some people really want to go to a country where they want to experience what it's like to live as a first-class citizen. And they heard that Liberia was a place where their people, the settler class, was a ruling class. You know what I'm saying? And they wanted to experience that. Some people just want to farm, be part of that same experience, but they want to know what it's like to live under a black government. You know? So therefore, it was many different nuances and dynamics in the book and everything. But it's a really, really good book. It's based on the actual true story of the ship, the Azor. The President William Talbot, the last American Liberian president, his family came on the Azor in 1878. So I fictionalized it, right? And I used one character, the Talbot boy, as William Talbot's grandfather, you know? And he was the Talbot, going to be the Talbot's legacy, from North Carolina. And the Liberian Exodus of 1878 was the biggest event at the time. There was people it was reported in newspapers all over the world. You know what I'm saying? About black, and it was a ship that was bought by and financed by African Americans. They bought a ship from the Liberian Exodus Association with plans to build the voyage more ships to settle in the Congo, sail around on the coast of Africa, and build more modern settlements, and then ultimately drive Europeans out of the continent. You know what I'm saying? So it was part of an empire building thing where they were going to recolonize Africa, which I say should be done now. The only thing stopping us right now is the strongest black people in the world, and the black people from the West needs to start going back to the continent and cleaning house. You want to ask what the solution is? Do I need to say it anymore? The black people from the West need to go back to the continent and say clean house. And we can't only do that when we don't have a consensus. I'm building a consensus, but we still keep getting fighting about it. Once we have a consensus, a solid consensus, and I know when that time happens, then we have a mandate. Then we have a mandate, then you can put the plan in action. I don't have a mandate yet, folks. All I have is I'm building momentum for consensus. That's what BAL is building, a momentum for consensus. Once we have a mandate, people say, look, now it's time to do this. Do it, carry it out. then. So you get your consensus. You get your consensus by convincing people, and then basically like that. Oh, my man Nutriman's here. He says Black Americans should get their heads. They have no connected lives to Africa and should make nowhere better to leave Africa to Africa.
Golly. On that note, I just don't have to. On that note.
Yeah. Oh, call us a BIO. Put the chat
the links in the chat room, the BIO. Everybody, please go and sign up and support the brother. Also, make sure you go to Amazon and pick up Kyle Genesis' book, Journey to Promised Land, Voyage of the Bark Azor. I'm going to start reading this tomorrow. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Please go to Search for Uhuru on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook. Also, Africa Personified on those same platforms. Also, go to DynastyMirror.com, search for Uhuru.com, Amazon.com, search your name, Dynasty Mirror, and go to AfricaPersonified.Africa. Oh, real quick, I want to share this with you, and then we'll log off. Sofarina Power says, sounds interesting, Kyle Genesis. I'll buy it, the book. Some of my ancestors migrated on the ship Banshee, the Coleman.
Yeah, the Banshee. That went to Maryland. The Banshee. I heard about the ship, the Banshee.
Mm-hmm.
The Banshee ship. Yep. The Dunbars. The Dunbars came on the Banshee. Is she a Dunbar?
Coleman. She's a Coleman.
Dunbar?
Coleman.
The Colemans and the Dunbars. The Dunbars came on the Banshee. They came on the Banshee. Yep.
All right, cool. All right, everybody. Till next time, which will be tomorrow. Peace.
Peace, brother.